Welcome back to GA Fan TV. My name is Aaron. Hope everyone is keeping wonderfully well. It is the Mayo versus Roscommon live watch-along. We're going to be watching the game, reacting to the game live as it happens. Obviously, huge championship game between these two, as it always is. Two massive rivals, and very excited to be here watching the game and, hopefully providing a bit of commentary for you lads, a bit of alternative commentary. And, of course, you lads can react in the comments below. And, obviously, no game is being shown here. It is on, I think, GA Go, TG. No, it's on RTE as well, I think. So, on plenty of places. And buzzing for this match. You know, two big rivals. And after obviously seeing what happened with New York and Leitrim last night, the excitement that game brought, we're certainly hoping for more of the same excitement, more of the same drama. And when you look at these two, especially where they finished in the National Football League in terms of their placings, Mayo obviously finishing in first, Roscommon finishing in third, there really shouldn't be too much between these two. There really shouldn't be. And I'm hoping for an exciting game and hoping for a game that certainly gets the blood pumping. We'll see if there is any late changes in just a few moments' time, but two of the sides, of course, were named yesterday, and these images are taken from @GA Elevation on Twitter, so make sure to give them a follow when you get a chance. But this is the Mayo side here. So Colm Reap in goal, of course, making some big saves as we've seen against Galway in that league final. Full back line is Jack Coyne, David McBride, and Donncha McHugh. Half back line is Stephen Cohn, Conor Loftus, and Paddy Durkin. Midfield, Matthew Rowan and Jeremy O'Connor. Fionn McDonough playing in at 10. Jack Carney and Jordan Flynn complete the half-forward line. And the full-forward line is Aidan O'Shea, James Carr, and Ryan O'Donoghue. So plenty of talent there, plenty of great players. Surprised not to see Tommy Conroy start, but we'll see if there has been any late changes. Ball is set to be thrown in just a couple of minutes' time now. Looks to be fierce weather in Castlebar as well. Certainly not the same here in the capital, but there we go. This is the Roscommon side. Conor Carroll in goal. Full back line is Conor Hussey, Conor Daly, and David Murray. Half back line, Niall Daly, Brian Stack, and Owen McCormick. Midfield, Dylan Rowan and Keith Doyle. Half forward line, Kieran Murtagh, Kieran Lennon, and Enda Smith. Full forward line, Conor Cox, German Murtagh, Ben O'Carroll. So certainly makes for an exciting game. Damien says, come on, Mayo. Mikey says the weather here in Mayo is awful, will impact the quality of football, but should benefit the Rossies. That's the downside of starting the season earlier. Who will Kildare play against first? I believe it will be Wicklow, but I actually haven't checked the score of that game. So it will be the winner of Wicklow Carlow. So whoever is coming out on top there. I'll tell you what, we'll have a look at the scores now, because you've actually reminded me. I should probably have a look at what's someone. Wow, Clare B Cork. Clare B, Jesus, that is a shock right there. Just looking at that. I'm sure Matthew Hurley, the GA statsman, will have plenty to say about that on tomorrow's show. That is wow. That is one hell of a shock right there. Wicklow did beat Carlow, so they'll be the ones to play Kildare. Although that game is not finished yet. About 5-6 minutes left. And looking at some other games as well. Offaly currently leading Longford, and Wexford currently leading Laois, but both of those two games in around the first half. So still a bit to go there. Just looking at the teams being named in RTE, so we'll see if there's any late changes. Certainly looks to be a few here, but it looks of things. Colm Reap obviously keeping his place in goal. Owen McLaughlin has actually come in, named that fullback as well, interestingly enough. So be interesting to see what sort of who does play a fullback then. Interesting stuff there from Kevin McStay. And midfield stays the same. Half forward line stays the same. Number 18 is named in a full forward, so we'll see who that is in just a moment's time. Could be Tommy Conroy. Could certainly be Tommy Conroy, but we'll see what happens there. And we will update this score, obviously, as we go along. Just looking at it, is Tommy Conroy. It is Tommy Conroy. So he does play, named the full forward. I'm not too sure if he'll start there, to be honest with you. Aidan O'Shea named the corner forward. I'd imagine those two will probably swap around. Aidan O'Shea maybe might drop a bit deeper, given the game that's in it. And there we go. Looking at Roscommon, they look to have made one late change there. Just looking at their side, number 22 named a corner forward. So we'll see who that is in just a moment's time. But the rest of their side very much the same there. So good to see. And just a couple of moments away now until the start of this game. Let me know your predictions, your score predictions in the comments. I think obviously with the weather being quite sluggish, with the fact that Roscommon will probably sit in, I expect it to be low scoring. And to be honest with you, there mightn't even be goals. I actually think this game could be very similar to how the Galway game went. So I think if I'm go with a score prediction myself, just off the top of my head, I'd go with something like this: Mayo 13, Roscommon 12 points. I think that's what I would go with, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens in later in the game. Plenty of comments flying in there, so much appreciated. Let me know, or hit the like button and subscribe if you could. Matthew ripping his hair out. Mead now set to be in Tolshin. Yeah, obviously Mead, the fate is still in their own hands. They can still get to a Leinster final, but they'll have to come through Offaly, most likely, if they beat Longford. And then they'll have to come through either Louth or Westmeath. So still some tough games in there from a Mead perspective, but not inconceivable that they come through them. So yeah, Matthew was spotted in Shannon Airport. There you go. Well, I suppose, yeah, he was flying back from, he's on Erasmus in Scotland. So that sounds about right. If Kildare beat Wicklow, will Kildare play the Dubs in the semis? Yes, that is correct. Meadman says I back Mayo. Yeah, me too. Think Mayo by the smallest of margins, but there we go. I mean, the good news is from a Cork perspective is they should still have a Sam Maguire place wrapped up themselves. I think they finished fourth in the end. So they should still be in the Sam Maguire themselves, but yeah, massive blow losing to Clare because just madness really. It was always going to be one of those tough games, but they were leading for large parts as well. And I think, yeah, John Cleary and Cork now, I think, are under massive pressure. Because they'll enter into the draw, they'll enter into the group stages, provided, I think, if Mead get to a final, I think they'll be okay. But I think if Fermanagh maybe get to a provincial final and possibly someone else as well, I think they should be okay. But yeah, definitely madness. All right. My prediction: Mayo to win 211 to 112. Suppose you're predicting a fair few goals. Could definitely be the case. But we are underway anyway. The game has started. Ball thrown in, won early by Roscommon. Looking at Davy Burke, this is going to be. He looks like he is going to be 110% up for this one. Castlebar looks packed. Still a couple of empty seats in there. Probably a few fans, obviously, probably trying to save themselves from the rain. Probably coming back in now in a few minutes. But you would expect it to be more or less a fully packed stadium in Castlebar. Damien says Mayo 2-9, Roscommon 1-11. Yeah, I think we're all kind of edging towards low scoring, and hopefully there is goals. Like hopefully it is entertainment, and it is a big game because that's what we want. And to be fair, a lot of the watch-alongs I've actually done this year have unfortunately been quite dull and boring games, which has been hugely disappointing. I definitely should have done one last night for that New York Leitrim game because that was proper edge of the seat stuff. But there we go. But here we go. Anyway, Roscommon with the free opening chance. Look to have put it over the bar, and they have. Good score there. Roscommon lead early on with the opening point of the game. Good start. Good start there from a Roscommon point of view. Looked like it was German Murtha who might have slotted that one over. But here come Mayo now going down the other end. Looks to be a foul on Ryan O'Donoghue. It was German Murtha who got that point for Roscommon. O'Donoghue now fouled by Connor Cox. Did Mayo get a red card or have I missed something? It says on the RTE graphic they've got a red card underneath the Mayo name. Have I missed something here? If Cavan get to a provincial final, Armagh, the only real stumbling block, then Kildare will also be in Tolchin. Yeah, it's a fair point. Mead man says Mayo red. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Actually, I think that was just an error. Looking at it now, the red card symbol is removed. So maybe they're foreshadowing that there will be a red card. But now it says Roscommon have a red card. Now no one is. What is going on here? I think the I think whoever's controlling the scoreboard in RT is just getting a bit carried away there. A few red cards. Definitely an RT error, obviously, because it'd be madness to have had a red card quite early on. Can you give scores of the other matches from time to time as well? Yeah, I definitely will. There's certainly a lot going on, isn't there? So we will update ourselves as good as we can. Ryan O'Donoghue obviously put that point over the bar, so 1 point apiece there at the minute. Mayo with a good turnover there. Ryan O'Donoghue now getting himself forward. Oh, here's a chance maybe for a goal for Mayo. Just overhit from Tommy Conroy. Roscommon actually very, very open there. And Tommy Conroy puts that one over the bar. Hand-fisted point. Big score there for Mayo. 2 points to 1 now with the advantage. And Roscommon just caught a little bit napping there. A little bit wide open. Needed a better pass from O'Donoghue. And Tommy Conroy could have been in. Does slot it over the bar in fairness. And 2 point. Or did he put it over the bar? Maybe he didn't. It looked like he put it over the bar. RT on a mad one. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they brought Andy Moran back in. And he's he's drowning his sorrows after the Leitrim defeat. And he's just playing pranks on, I suppose, his two favourite counties. But there we go. 1 point apiece. I thought Tommy Conroy put that one over, but looks to have been a wide. 4 minutes in, both level. In fairness, like, you were expecting a cagey start, expecting a cagey game. That hasn't been the case so far. Both sides really going for it. Mayo, another big turnover on Roscommon there. Great bit of work. I think maybe by Conor Loftus just to get the turnover. Jeremy O'Connor now on the ball. So Mayo looking to, I suppose, give themselves a massive chance here and put themselves 2 points to 1 in front. Calm Reap, as we've seen against Galway, had an outrageous game, an outstanding game versus Galway. Made 3-4 saves, kicked a couple of big scores from 45s. Obviously a little bit different this time around. Weather's probably a bit more fierce. Does seem to definitely be a bit of a breeze, all right. Standing over the free, just a little bit in front of the 45-metre line. And goes well wide of the target there. I think it might have been Aidan O'Shea trying to keep the ball in play, but it does go well wide of the target. Difficult one, to be fair. Difficult one from Calm Reap. You wonder maybe could he have possibly gone shorter. But a very, very good moment there for Roscommon to get away with that one and avoid going a point down. As we can see, Roscommon trying to move the ball quickly. Both sides are, in fairness, they're both trying to be quick, be fast with the ball, move it as quickly as possible. Definitely difficult weather conditions, I think, for both sides. We're seeing the camera get a little bit blurry. So definitely not the best weather that we have seen for a game of National League football. Or a game of Championship football, I should say. Here come Roscommon. Bit of space opens up. They could have a chance for a point. They chose not to. I think it was Conor Hussey on the ball there. Plays it back into Enda Smith. Good pressure here from Mayo. There is a man free if he can spot him. Spots him too late. Good interception there from Fionn McDonough and Tommy Conroy on the ball now as Mayo look to hit this Roscommon side on the break. Good ball inside, and a space opens up. Could be a chance here for a goal off the crossbar. Incredible effort there. What an opportunity was it? I think it was Stephen Cohen with the chance there, and that's the second time that Roscommon have been very well opened up. Big chance opens up, almost perfect, hits the bar, crashes back down in the square and goes wide of the target. Roscommon playing with fire a little bit. They've got away with a few ones there. I was expecting them to be a lot more, better defensively set up in these opening 10 minutes. They've left themselves exposed quite a bit, and that was a brilliant ball into Stephen Cohen on his left boot, smashes it against the post. Could say maybe, I think he chose the right option in going for goal. I think it was a clear enough goal chance there. In fairness. So I think he did choose the right option, but at the same time, it now leaves Roscommon a bit of time on the ball, take this thing out of the game, and maybe give themselves an opportunity at, I suppose, going in front for what would be the second time in the game. Mayo have wind advantage in first half. We need to make use of it, especially on a rainy day like this. Absolutely, yeah. And a few turnovers there, and definitely a few chances. Damien says Armagh with a good way to get their championship off to a good start. Yeah, absolutely. You would expect them to be Antrim. But look, we've seen a few surprises already in the championship in this early weekend. Cork getting beat by Clare. And Leitrim getting beat by New York. Probably not major upsets, but at the same time, probably not results we expected. Missing all those goal chances might come back to bite us. It could do most certainly. Especially with having the wind, and you're seeing Roscommon now. Like, I think the main thing for Roscommon is just staying in the game, giving themselves, if they're 1 or 2 points down going into the final 5 or 10 minutes, then I think Roscommon are, they'll be very, very confident, and they'll start to feel that they have what it takes to get the job done. Roscommon have kept the ball here now for about 3 or 4 minutes since that Stephen Cohen goal chance. I feel like that goal chance has nearly spooked them a bit. Do you think Meath going into Tailteann is a good thing or a bad thing? Couldn't see us going far in All-Ireland. I'm not sure, because I wouldn't even fancy Meath to win the Tailteann Cup, to be honest with you. But then again, I would have fancied Clare to win it, and now I think Clare are going to a Munster final. So yeah, it's an interesting one, all right. Like, obviously you were hearing, I think Jordan Morris maybe not available now for Meath anymore. Like, with the fact they go into the Tailteann Cup, could that mean, more players are going to opt out? But at the same time, yeah, if they went into the All-Ireland series, they would have been a pot 4 side. Or if they do go into the All-Ireland series, they'll be a pot 4 team. They're probably... But then again, they could be drawn with the loser, or, whoever comes through Sligo, New York, and then you'd fancy them to get through. So, with the fact it's 3 sides who go through, so it's an interesting one from a Meath perspective. All right, I think Tailteann Cup would be good for them, but only if they win it. If they run the risk of an upset and get beat, then it's it looks very, very bad from a Colm O'Rourke perspective, in my opinion. But here come Roscommon again on the attack with German Murtagh. Feels like they've kept the ball for about 6-7 minutes at this stage, and eventually they were going for that backdoor cut, looking for a run inside, didn't get it, and the ball dribbles out of play. Just seeing the conditions look very, very bad indeed. The rain and wind very much getting all over the camera. And a couple of minutes now without a score. The last score came on the 4th minute. We're now on the 11th minute. Mayo spreading the play out wide to Ryan O'Donoghue. You can even tell from watching on the TV, like the wind on the ball there nearly even caught O'Donoghue out. But here come the men from Mayo. Roscommon well set up. Mayo being patient. Matt Ruan plays it out wide. This is a Good bit of play here from Mayo, nearly getting themselves in for another goal chance. Go for the hand-fisted effort, but it looks to have possibly gone wider as the referee called a free. I think he's given a wide. That's what, two, 3 wides now, or I suppose when you look at those goal chances as well, 4 or 5 missed opportunities for Mayo so far. So that maybe will be a bit of a worry there from a Mayo perspective. Just looking at some of the other games across the country, Tipperary have beaten Waterford 3-9 to 111. So they will play against Kerry in the Munster semi-final. So congratulations to them. I'll just have a look here in Scorpio and we'll see who are the men to get the goal. So I think Stephen O'Brien with 1-3. Not too sure else. Feehan around midfield. He got himself a goal. And Quirk as well got himself a Paddy Feehan and Stephen Quirk with 2 goals as well there for Tipperary. So they progress into the Munster semi-finals. Longford and Offaly 1-8 apiece as it stands there. 55 minutes gone. So that game definitely still in the balance. Wexford leading Laois by a point, 1-8 to 1-7. Still a long way to go in those games as well, to be fair. Well, 15 minutes left in Longford Offaly, and Laois Wexford, according to Scorpio, says it's around the 43rd minute. So still a bit to be played in those matches. And Wicklow have beaten Carlow 2-12 to 10 points. Owen Darcy with 1-2. Kevin Quinn with 4 points. Mark Jackson with 2 points between the sticks as well. So good win for Wicklow. They'll play Kildare next. You would have expected them to beat Carlow, and they have done so by 8 points as well. So good win for them. Just looking at it there, Mayo and Roscommon both level. Definitely been a cagey enough game as we expected. That's a poor enough effort there from, was it Matthew Rowan? And nearly looked more like a pass nearly. But I think that's what, 3-4 wide so far for Mayo. Definitely not quite clicked into gear just yet from the National Football League champions. But still level, and Mayo definitely pressing Roscommon very high up the pitch here. Roscommon trying to play it through the lines, not being forced to kick long, trying to draw a foul. They eventually do kick long, and that's a good pass inside. It's a scrappy game, and eventually the decision goes the way of Roscommon. 1 point apiece. That's a poor ball inside. That will be comfortable work there for Jack Hoyne. Challenges going in from German Murta. Looked like he was angry at the ref there originally, but I think he's actually celebrating the fact that it was over carrying. Or what? No, it wasn't over carrying. I think he's going mad that it was a free. I thought he was actually celebrating. Mayo definitely the ones you'd say with the most possession so far. Definitely being the early aggressors. And Roscommon have done all right, but you would look at those goal chances, those 2 big goal chances. One of them from Stephen Cohen, obviously where he crashes the bar. Both sides just struggling to get there. Their hands on the ball, get any rhythm. Fouls being drawn either way. It has been a common theme, you would say, so far from referees. They're given a lot of frees this year. One would wonder, you just like the game to flow that bit more, but here we go. Roscommon now on the counter-attack. Good ball into Lennon. He's got Connor Loftus chipping away at him there. Roscommon just need to be patient on the ball. Just wait for that opportunity. 1 point apiece would be a big psychological moment if they could score. Interesting enough, 16 minutes gone, no points from play so far for either one of these two. German Murta with a free on 2 minutes. Ryan O'Donoghue with a free just a minute after on 3 minutes. And not the greatest game so far. It's a bit scrappy, bit tactical. Obviously the weather probably playing its part as well, in fairness. It's not your usual championship weather that we'd usually get for the opening weekend of the championship. which would usually be, all sunshine and roses and everything. That's definitely not the case here. But hopefully we can get something to happen soon, because there's probably not a lot to talk about so far. I feel like Mayo keeps shooting from distance here, a good bit from distance, and I feel like they're taking on shots that they shouldn't be taking, and that's another one there that's gone well wide of the target from Connor Loftus. And just looking at it here, I feel like Mayo have probably had 4, 5, maybe 6 wide so far in this game. And for Connor Loftus there, like, there was no need to take that opportunity on. No need to take that opportunity on. Just try and work the right opportunity. And that's maybe been a bit disappointing to see and uncharacteristic of what we've seen from Mayo so far this year. Just a little bit rushed. I feel like their play is a little bit rushed here so far. But the good news for them is that it's 1 point apiece, and the game is still very, very much in the balance. Just looking at it on RT there, nearly 17 minutes without a score for Roscommon, 16 minutes without a score for Mayo. Hopefully we get something to happen soon. Here is Enda Smith on the ball, decides not to play it forward, plays it back. I feel like Roscommon are, when they have the ball, I feel like they're playing within themselves a little bit. In fairness to Mayo, at least they're trying to make things happen. I feel like Roscommon are playing very tentative, very nervously a little bit here. I think they've only had 2 shots on goal so far, Roscommon. One of them obviously the free, another one that went wide. So it's all well and good Roscommon keeping the ball, I suppose, with the game being level, but they're going to need to start taking a few more risks here to just try and create the opportunities that they need. German Murtha, who's definitely been very involved so far for Roscommon. Bit of space maybe opening here. Might be maybe a chance at a goal. Goes down. Does take the free. So this will be a chance for Roscommon to go back in front. Brilliant ball by German Murtha, who's been very impressive so far for Roscommon. Noel Daly made the forward run, and he was fouled. By the looks of it there, by Owen McLaughlin, I think it might have been. So that leaves a chance for German Murtha right in front of the goal. All day long, he puts this one over. And he does, makes no mistake. Good score there from German Murtha. Roscommon go back in front. Mayo have not had the lead yet. There goes the RTE graphic again with all the red cards. Don't know what's going on there. Someone needs to get a hold of whoever's doing that. It's not funny. It's not funny, lads. I think what I think's happening there, because it went 2 Roscommons to 1 Mayo. So I think they must have a new person on the score graphic, and now my TV is completely gone. What's going on here? Oh, we're back again. Having an absolute disaster with RT there. Just completely switched off for me, but it's back now. But I think maybe what's going on is I'd say they probably have a new person on the scores, or putting in the scores, or whatever way it does, and I think they're putting in the red cards instead. Come on, lads, surely it can't be that hard there. Like, even I have a lovely little score here. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, lads. But there we go. Roscommon 2 points to 1 up. No points from play so far. Not the best game. Sam says don't blame the weather. Roscommon passing it around at the back to death. Yeah. Like, at least Mayo are trying to make things happen. They're trying to get after Roscommon. I think Roscommon have been, very, very cautious in their approach. You can understand it, but you would like them to see them take more risks. But here come Mayo. Nearly lost the ball there. Jeremy O'Connor does very well. Plays it out wide into Fionn McDonough. He lays it back. Mayo need a score here, and they give the ball away. It's been a frustrating start if you're a Mayo supporter so far. German Murtha having a great game. Yeah, he is, to be fair. He's probably been Roscommon's best player so far. It's woeful stuff. Yeah, it's not been great. Yawn. Yeah, it definitely hasn't been great. You know, I definitely should have done a watch along last night for Leitrim, New York, and definitely regretting that decision now. But nonetheless, it was still a cracking game, and you're hoping maybe a goal might open this up. You know, maybe if Roscommon get a goal, Mayo will have to really push up, or maybe if Mayo get a goal, that'll invite Roscommon onto them. But in fairness, like, this is how most of Roscommon's games have gone. That's a brilliant bit of work there, I think, by Ben O'Carroll. I think he sold one of the Mayo defenders a lovely dummy. Did you pay your TV license? I'm not. Yeah. 100%. Who doesn't pay their TV license nowadays? That's what I'd say. But look, we're still going anyways. They haven't cut me off just yet. But there we go. Here comes Niall Daly. Roscommon, in fairness, have been a lot more better with their use of the ball. Bit of a half chance at a goal. Is there a penalty there? There is a penalty. Penalty to Roscommon. And this could be a big moment in the game, because it's been a cautious game. It's been a slow game. A 4-point lead for Roscommon here could really open things up. And initially, it was Dylan Rowan who got through, has his effort blocked, and it looked like two men kind of more so running into each other there. Connor Loftus adjudged to have given away the penalty. I'm actually not too sure who went down in the end for the penalty, but here we go. Big moment this for German Murta and for Roscommon to take themselves 4 points in front. It's actually Enda Smith who's taken it. So a bit of mind games there. Looked like it was German Murta, but he passes the ball to Enda Smith. Bit of dark arts. But here we go. Calm Reap, as we've seen, made some big saves versus Galway. He's certainly a man who knows how to make a save. It's tough conditions as well. Loads of Mayo supporters behind. And he puts it into the corner, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Brilliant finish by Enda Smith. And Roscommon have themselves a goal, go 4 points in front. And now, you know, all that talk, as we were saying, of Roscommon keeping the ball, playing it around the back, they're going to do that even more now. They're probably going to take the mick a little bit more now. And, you know, Mayo have themselves a bit of a game here. Like, they haven't scored since the 3rd minute. They've been struggling on the ball. That's a massive turnover there from Roscommon, who look bang up for this game so far. It's not a turnover, as a matter of fact. The ref has given a foul. German O'Connor kicks it back out wide. Roscommon or Mayo need to respond. They need to get going. Fantastic start for Roscommon. And although we would say that Roscommon maybe have played very negatively, so far it's worked. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is to win football matches. You know, you ask Donegal fans in 2012, do they care about how they won the All-Ireland? They definitely don't. But that's a great response there by Paddy Durkin. Lovely finish. Ball popped into Ryan O'Donoghue. Durkin slots it over. In fairness to Mayo, when they have attacked Roscommon, they have created space. You know, they had that goal chance from Stephen Cohen, a few other kind of half chances. You know, that ball from Ryan O'Donoghue that was played into Tommy Conroy, that was a little bit overhit. So they're creating chances. So if you're a Mayo supporter, you certainly would not panic even at this early stage. Something happening with the referee here. Just looking at Matthew Rowan and a few other lads. Matthew Rowan and Dylan Rowan, the Rowans. I'd imagine there's no relation there, but you never quite know with Mayo and Roscommon. But here we go anyway. Big kick out this now. Mayo do win it. Brilliant take from German O'Connor. Goes down. Aidan O'Shea grabs it. Mayo looking to restart quickly. The referee doesn't really allow him to, but there will be an opportunity here for Aidan O'Shea. Are they going to go for the point? Maybe Calm Reap is coming up to take this. He is. It's another difficult one, but it's a bit more central this time. Damien says these early misses for Mayo will come back to bite them. They certainly could. But in fairness, their response to the goal has been very good. They got themselves that point from Paddy Durkin, first point from play in the game, actually, to be fair. So big moment. And Colm Reap now standing over it. Like with conditions and everything else, you'd wonder, is it the right decision to be taking these chances on? Reap goes for it. It's a good bit wide, I think. Is it wide? No, over the bar. There we go. Should have went to Specsavers, says me. Good, brilliant score there from Colm Reap. And Mayo are back within 2. So great response there from Mayo. Like from conceding the goal, it was 4 points, especially with the way the game has gone so far. And Mayo pressing up very much on kickouts, and that does look to be possibly a bit of an issue for Roscommon. They've been turned over on back-to-back kickouts. And here come the men in green and red. Fionn McDonough. Roscommon really have a lot of men there. There's nowhere really for Matthew Rowan to go. He gets away with it though. Plays it into Conroy, but I think the ref has called over carrying possibly there for Matthew Rowan, I think, or maybe he threw the ball. I think he actually threw the ball there. But we will update this score in just a brief moment. Roscommon will keep the ball for a good amount of time, you'd imagine. 28 minutes gone on the clock. You look at Mayo, though, like they are pressing up on Roscommon here. They're trying to make life very, very difficult. It's not easy for Roscommon to play out, and they get caught completely, and the goalkeeper's off his line. Mayo could maybe go for something here. They might have a half chance at a goal. It's very scrappy, but the ref has given over carrying there for Aidan O'Shea. Couldn't quite see what happened there, but he had an opportunity. Like the goalkeeper was a little bit off his line there. Could Jeremy O'Connor, I don't know if he quite had the space to position his body to kick the ball there over the Roscommon goalkeeper. And Roscommon do get away with it, and they look to play it out, and that's a poor pass. And since the goal, it's been all Mayo. And Roscommon are struggling to get out of their own half here at the minute. And the huge evidence of how the wind is taking effect on the game there with that pass. Noel Daly being told off by the official. Bit of a coming together there between Aidan O'Shea and Enda Smith. Nothing really doing, just a few handbags, as they would say. Sam says you can only imagine Mayo will cut through the Roscommon blanket when it opens up in the second half. And there was a long ball in there causing all sorts of havoc. Roscommon might just have got away with it, 45. So they get away with losing the goal. But that goal by Roscommon looks to have really woken Mayo up here. And I think the fans are up for it. Both sets of players pushing each other around now. It's getting a bit feisty out there. And this will be a chance for Colm Reap to slot over his second point of the game. But yeah, like I think if Roscommon have the lead, like they'll sit in more and more and they'll try and frustrate Mayo. But I suppose certainly with the wind anyway, I think that's why Mayo are pressing up quite high. But I think Roscommon will be fairly happy to get in a half time in front. If they can hold on for the final 4 minutes of this half. And here goes Colm Reap. Looks good. Looks very good indeed. Slots that one over. 4 points for the men from Mayo and a second one for Colm Reap. And that was a very, very good score as well. It's always interesting watching Colm Reap. He doesn't have much of a run-up. He only takes probably 2 or 3 steps before hitting it. It always looks like he's not going to get the power on the shot, but he does. Quite a unique way at hitting the ball, but it works for him. It works for Mayo. Brings it back down to a 1-point game. Big moment there for Roscommon to win the kick out, because Mayo are going very, very deep. 7 minutes since that goal for Roscommon, and they haven't even had a chance since that goal as well. What you would say about this game so far is that Roscommon have probably only had what you would say probably 3-4 chances in the game. Mayo have had at least 7 or 8, possibly even 9. Mayo have had a lot of chances, few goal chances, a lot of point scoring opportunities. Few of them probably, being kicked from distance and everything else. But there we have it. But a couple of minutes till half time. Kevin McStay obviously watching on. He'll be happy about how his side have, I suppose, responded since the goal. Going 4 points down in your own backyard against your big rivals. It can be, it can knock the confidence out of you. But in fairness, Mayo have showed a bit of resolve to turn that one around. Roscommon are still leading by a point, though, and they do have possession here. And with Mayo obviously having the wind, Roscommon would be delighted to get in at halftime in front by any which way possible. We're seeing Roscommon trying to run the ball a lot more, and obviously with the wind very much favouring Mayo, you can see why Roscommon are having that approach. And there we go. That's an effort. Like you can see with the wind there. That's why Roscommon aren't going for it. There was an effort from German Murtha. The ball completely swerved around like an absolute balloon there. And Roscommon, there's no point in them taking shots on. They just have to keep running through and maybe go for goals. And they nearly get one. And they do get one. It's the second one. And it's another goal. This time it's Enda Smith. It's a bit of a scrappy goal, but it doesn't matter. A second goal for Enda Smith. And Roscommon go back 4 points to the good. Look at that. An effort that deflected. Fell back to Enda Smith. I think it was German Murtha initially who had his effort blocked by Jack Carney. Falls to Enda Smith. Little side foot. A finish that Mohamed Salah would be proud of. And Mayo just a little bit in trouble here. And Roscommon are, Roscommon, you can tell, are very, very well coached, because they're with the wind, they're not shooting from ridiculous angles. There's no point. You've seen that German Murtha effort. The ball just swerved completely. No point going for it. Instead, just keep running through the middle. You'll either get points chances or you'll get goal chances. And Roscommon now are looking very, very good. And that goal has definitely taken the wind out of Mayo's sails. You've got Roscommon in a good position here. They do go for the point, and it's wide. And again, it's very difficult for Roscommon to kick for points with that wind. And Mayo will experience the same thing, you'd have to say, in the second half. Ball into German O'Connor, plays it inside into Tommy Conroy. It wasn't a great ball. It was a very loose ball, and it allowed Enda Smith, who's been absolutely everywhere for Roscommon so far in this game. 1 minute of additional time. And Roscommon, you'd imagine now, will just keep the ball for large parts. We'll update that score now in just a brief moment. But there we go. Sam says, with the new setup, what happens to losers of this first round championship here? Anyone? Well, what will happen is Mayo will be in pot 3 of the group stages, because they were, one of the highest. Well, they were National League champions, so it's about as high as it gets. But what it would mean is that Mayo could be drawn with. I'm saying Mayo as an example because they're obviously losing right now to Roscommon. We'll see what happens, come the end of the game. But if Mayo were to lose this game, it's likely that Mayo could be drawn with one of the other provincial winners. They couldn't be drawn with the Connacht provincial winners, but they could be drawn with either Dublin, Kerry, and then the winners of Ulster. So it just makes it that, makes life that bit difficult for Mayo. But there we go, half time, 2-2 to 4 points in favour of Roscommon. My internet's just going a little bit slow here, so the score isn't updating, but it should update in any second. There we have it. Half time, 2-2 Roscommon, 4 points to Mayo. And what a performance by Roscommon. Like they look so well coached, so well drilled, hitting on the counter attack, not kicking from distance, not taking balloon shots on in those weather conditions, and just waiting for the right openings, waiting for the right chances. And there we go. They, two goal chances. I think it was a penalty. I'll need to see it back again. To be honest, I only seen one replay of it, but did look like a penalty. Smith puts it in the back of the net. And then with the second chance, Smith again, from a similar position, interesting enough, the ball sort of bounces back to him and he hits it on the ground. And there we go. And yeah, fair play to Roscommon so far, because so many times you see teams, panic and take shots on, but Roscommon are not doing that. And if you were to look at the scoring chances of Roscommon, I would say that they've probably only had about 5, maybe 6 scoring chances, and they've 2-2 on the board, whereas Mayo have had a whole host of, goal, scoring chances. Probably even had, more clear goal chance than the 2 Roscommon goal chances. Well, one of them was a penalty, to be fair. And, they haven't scored. So, so there we go. 4-point lead for Roscommon at halftime. Big second half for Mayo. I had them as All-Ireland favourites. A lot of people did. I think now is the time where they show why there is a lot of hype around this Mayo side, and they need to show resolve. They need to show character, as Brendan Rodgers would say. They need to show a bit of character in this second half to turn this game around. Roscommon are going to have the wind advantage in the second half as well, so it's going to be tough for Mayo. This is going to be a very, very tough second half. EM says, would Donegal beat New York? Yeah, I think they would. But with looking at New York or Donegal at the minute, you just wouldn't know. Opinions on Andy Moore and his Leitrim manager seems to be out of his depth. Leitrim have almost regressed under him. Heard a few Mayo manager shouts last year. Safe to say he won't be getting the job soon. Yeah, it just hasn't quite clicked for Andy Moore. And I do think he's been a little bit unlucky at times though as well. Like against Sligo last year, they lost on penalties in the Tailteann Cup. Against New York, they lose on penalties. Against Sligo in that sort of all or nothing promotion game towards the end of the season, they lost by a point. Just seems maybe the rub of the green is not going his way. It's, you would say Leitrim are not a million miles away. Also as well, there's been retirements, there's been players emigrating. He's had to deal with players leaving the panel, and he's had to deal with younger players coming through. Like Terry Hyland's team from a couple of years ago was a different Leitrim side to this one. Like they still have Keith Byrne, but Emma Mulligan, for example, has retired. A few others have left as well. So it's a different team. But there we go. Arsenal beating Liverpool, no surprises there. Sam says third seed in a group. That's not great. You don't want that. Yeah, but see, the interesting point as well though is you'll still get drawn with a second seed, and one of them will be Sligo, New York. One of them could be Louth, Meath, Westmeath. One of them 4, maybe Offaly. And one of them will be either Clare or Limerick. So you could, and you only need to get in the top 3 to get out of the group. So like losing this game, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. Because I still see either one of these two getting to the preliminary round. And looking at it from the positive point of view, if Mayo were to lose, you have I think a 3-4 week break before the group stages. So, all this talk about Mayo having so many games, well, all of a sudden, then they can, relax for a little bit. Not relax, but take a little bit of a breather. So yeah. But there we go. But yeah, half time anyway. 2-2 to 4 points as it stands. So looking very, very good from a Roscommon point of view. Just looking at some stats there on RT. 5 wide so far for Mayo, 2 for Roscommon, 62% possession, 38 for Roscommon. looking at the scoring chances, it was right there, just 5 scoring chances for Roscommon, 4 of them converted. And for Mayo, 9 scoring chances and 5 of them converted, or 4 of them converted. So Roscommon have been very, very clinical. And you would have to say, under this management, they are very, very well coached, very well organised, and a very, very hard team to beat. And, what a story it would be for the Rossies to go to their near neighbours, having won the league, being backed by many to win the All-Ireland, and turn them over in their own backyard. Just looking at the chance, I actually think the referee gave that goal as a foot block, I think maybe, was it, from Dylan Rowan's effort? So there we go. Just looking back at the goals there again. It's a good block by Jack Carney, but it falls to the right man, right place in Enda Smith, and he puts it in the back of the net. There we go. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game so far. Say man of the match, for the opening 35 minutes, probably Enda Smith. He's been outstanding. I think German Mirth has been outstanding for Roscommon as well. Haven't been too many, standout performers from Mayo. I think Paddy Durkin's looked well. But apart from that, there hasn't been too many. So yeah, it's a big second half here for Mayo. Big second half. And they're going to need to really, really step up and show what they are made of. If they do want to finish as winners of this game. Could you say maybe that Mayo look a little bit leggy? That could maybe be a question as well. Like, has the amount of intense games possibly caught up with them? Roscommon do look a little bit fresher. But there we go. Trying to do 100 things at once here, so bear with me. But yeah, and especially with Roscommon now, obviously playing with wind as well, like that will benefit them hugely. And Mayo will have to do what Roscommon did in the second half. Like, Mayo probably won't have that many. I think if Mayo are going to win this game, it's going to be with goals. It's going to be with goals now, because points wise, unless that wind dies down, they're not going to score too many points, I don't think, in the second half. Gavin says, "Hon the Rossies." Yeah, I'd say you're absolutely over the moon with how that game has gone so far. It's been it's been absolutely outstanding so far for Roscommon. Looking at some of the Mayo goal chances again, here was Ryan O'Donoghue who played it into Tommy Conroy. The wind just takes the ball away from Tommy Conroy there. And then with the hand pass effort, he puts it well wide of the target. And then the second goal chance, which we're having a look at here, was from Stephen Cohen. And you just wonder, like, especially when Ryan O'Donoghue was playing that pass into Tommy Conroy, could he have just put it over the bar? I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but like with the weather and everything else, like, 2 or 3 more points for Mayo in this game, and the scoreline doesn't look as bad as it is. So, but there we go. And this was the other one as well. Jeremy O'Connor playing it into Aidan O'Shea, who just couldn't sort his feet out in the end, over carries the ball too many steps. Could he have released the ball? He could have probably played it back to Jeremy O'Connor. Yeah, definitely. But a big second half, you'd wonder as well, like, in fairness to Mayo, they do have options from the bench. And that could be huge for them. But we'll see what happens. I'll tell you what, we'll actually look at Mayo's bench there. Just looking at some options on the bench there. Likes of Aidan Orms obviously on the bench. Killian O'Connor is there as well. Connor McStay as well, Paul Towie, Darren McHale. So Frank Irwin, they have options. They do have options on the bench there, in fairness, to possibly come on and change the outcome of the game. Damien says, if Kildare beat Wicklow and then lose to Dublin, what pot will they be in if Cavan don't get to provincial final? They'll be in pot 4 because they'll be one of the lowest ranked sides. So there'll be a pot 4 team, which is it's going to be tough for Kildare. If they beat Dublin and go on to do something. But there we go. There we have it. Anyway, just waiting for the start of the second half. It's been a very, very good display so far from a Roscommon point of view. Damien says, who else will be in pot 4? It will just be the lowest ranked sides from the 16 sides who don't make a provincial final. So most likely be Meath, Cork, Kildare and Westmeath, who obviously won the Tailteann Cup last year. I think they're going in as pot 4. So yeah, most likely be them 4. As long as Meath or Kildare don't make a provincial final, it will be them 4. But of course, big possibility. Well, actually, Meath won't even be in there, won't they? Because Clare could get to a provincial final if they beat Limerick. So I think the other pot 4 side would be, just thinking of off the top of my head, be Cork, Kildare, Westmeath, possibly Derry might get dragged, or Kildare. Derry might get dragged in there now, I think, if they don't get to a provincial final. It's all a bit confusing. It's all a bit mad, and it's a bit like trying to figure out a crazy maths equation. But certainly when the time comes around, we'll know a little bit more, in fairness. But there we have it. But yeah, just waiting for the start of the second half. We might just have a brief look at what some people are saying on the lovely social media platform that is Twitter. Smaller Fish GA breaking all day. He has found his boot and it's securely back on his foot. We were speaking about Matthew there. He says, now a danger of Tailteann Cup for the Rebels. If Meath would reach a Leinster final and Cavan Down reach an Ulster final, that would mean tier 2, very possible. Clare deserved it today, wanted it more. There we go. There we have it. Awfully looking good against Longford there, but it looks of things. Laois narrowly getting the better of Wexford as it stands there as well. But there we are. We'll see what people are saying about Roscommon. In fairness, there's probably not a lot to say because there actually hasn't been too much that's happened in the game. We've obviously had 2 very, very big goals. Yvonne McKenna says, there's something so likeable about this Roscommon. People always quote Monaghan as smaller county potential, but these lads are feral. Would love to see them and their fans late in the year in the last 4 packing out pure guts. Get it's too early and Cam needed, etc. There we go. We won't look at that tweet there because we don't know what's going on there. But yeah, no, in fairness, she makes a good point. Like, I think Roscommon have looked quite good, in fairness. They showed a lot of guts. They showed a lot of heart. And they have looked very, very well coached and very, very well set up, is what you'd say. And definitely you can see Davy Burke's imprint on this Roscommon side at this moment in time. They do look very, very well organised from 1 to 15. 19,361 at the game. There's a image of the penalty there for Enda Smith. Really unofficial. Kildare says Mayo versus Roscommon is a tough watch. Yeah, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. And thank God for those 2 goals. Otherwise, we'd probably be looking to I don't know, like throw myself out the window or something because, yeah, it just hasn't been a great game. Hasn't been a great game at all. Lift off in Castlebar, says Tommy Rooney. There we go. Yeah. Joanne Cantwell says, what a combo, the Sunday game. Returns for the new championship season. Roscommon could be hatching a plan to take on a Mayo team that has looked pretty excellent so far in 2023. I see what you did there. Yeah, we know where you are. We know where you are. Stephen O'Mara, always a good man for the stats, says Mayo versus Roscommon first round expected score. Mayo 5.5, Roscommon 6.5. There we go. And yeah, Roscommon have been very, very. They've just picked and chosen their chosen their right moments to go forward. In fairness, they've chosen the right moments. In fair, another Rossi ambush on the cards. Stoney Smith sends them 2-2 to 4 ahead. Little half volley with a block ball bouncing back at him. There we go. Yeah, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. All right, as we go into the start of the second half now, about to get going. Excited for this now going into the second half. Big start is needed by Mayo here at the start of the second half. They need to come out all guns blazing and really try to take the game to their near neighbours. But Roscommon win the throw in and start fast. Roscommon have looked bang up for this so far. And maybe just caught Mayo ever so slightly by surprise, you would say. Ball gets played in. Now goes out wide. Of course, let's not forget as well, Roscommon will have that wind advantage in this second half, which is huge. Tom says, I'm not hitting the panic button just yet. Yeah, look, I don't think Mayo fans will be, hitting the panic button so early yet, but, you have a game on your hands. You definitely have a battle on your hands. Roscommon have came to play today. And, I do think Roscommon, like, when you look at how high they finished in the National Football League, how well they've started under Davy Burke, they are serious dark horses to do something special this year. They really, really are. I think Crow Park is always one of them that could catch them later on in the year. But in terms of these kind of games, they look well suited. They go for that point, goes wide of the target. From Kieran Murtha, I think this time around. So you can see exactly what they are trying to bring. In fairness. But we see Roscommon now. It's their turn to push up at the start of the second half, and they win the kick out. This is tough now for Mayo. It's tough for them. They're in a game. They are in a game here, it must be said. And we will see how they respond. But that's a great interception there by Owen McLaughlin. Goes off in one of his bursting runs, as we've seen him do so many times. Mayo will need to play the second half in a similar way to how Roscommon played the first. They'll need goals. They will need goals here. And a goal at the start of the second half will be huge to turn in the tide. Plays it in. Chance surely for a point. Nearly drops it short, but it does go over the bar. Big point there at the start of the second half for Mayo. And it comes from an unlikely source. I think it's Dunica McHugh, the cornerback. Lovely score from him there. And Mayo have themselves back to within 3 points. And yeah, absolutely massive point there for Donnan McHugh. Brilliant score on his right boot to put it over the bar. And Mayo bring it back to 3 points. Roscommon battling. Mayo did a bit of work there, but Matrowan's effort just drops right into the hands of Ben O'Carroll. Looks to have been fouled, and the referee judges that he has been fouled. So this will be an opportunity here for Roscommon to get their third point of the game. They haven't kicked a point from play so far in this game, let's not forget. Their only score from play in the game actually came for a goal from Enda Smith. So there we have it. Which pot would be the best to get into from a Kildare point of view? I mean, you'd yeah, I suppose you'd want if you beat Dublin, in the Leinster semi-final, then you're right on track to win the Leinster final. But they're probably not going to be Dublin, are they? So, unfortunately, I think their story's already been written. That's a brilliant effort there, but it curves well wide of the target. Roscommon now with a second wide at the start of the second half, and again, Kieran Murtha with the effort. Roscommon struggling a little bit in a similar fashion to how we've seen Mayo struggle, because the ball is really drifting, isn't it? It's kind of being dragged from right to left. So you need to get a real swing on the ball in order for it to curl back in. And that does seem to be a bit of an issue for both sets of teams when they've attacked that goal at the start of, in either half. So it's probably fair to say, the wind, it's an advantage, but it's such a breeze that's drifting sort of more from the west, if that makes sense, or from the east, I should say. But there we go. Two players challenging for the ball there. Jack Carney and Brian Stack both going up for it. 3 points. Low enough scoring, which means I haven't had to update this score too often, in fairness. But we will do so. 3 points between the two sides. And here come Roscommon again with Ben O'Carroll. Space opens up again. The ball is it keeps drifting. It keeps drifting well left. And that's a third wide. The start of the second half for Roscommon there. Doing what kind of Mayo done in the first half, just taking shots on that they don't need. Let's not forget, Roscommon have the 3-point advantage here. They have the 3-point advantage. I think Roscommon just need to keep playing the same game that they played in the first half, keeping the ball, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the spaces. Because you can't keep giving the ball back to this Mayo side. Here comes Colm Reap. He's playing a dangerous game. Nearly loses possession, but just about gets away with it. Mayo play the ball inside. It's a good ball into Tommy Conroy. He plays it back for Donegan McHugh. Risky ball inside. Bounces around a little bit all over the place. He plays it back. Here's a chance now. Jordan Flynn. Mayo trying to wait for the opening. Plays it back. Space opens up. Bends it brilliantly. That's a brilliant score there. That needed to get a lot of whip on it, Matthew Rowan. And he does get it. And Mayo have had 2 chances at the start of the second half and scored both of them. And that will give Mayo a lot of confidence. Judging the win brilliantly, in fairness, is Matthew Rowan. And with his right boot, he bends it brilliantly. And that one goes very well over the bar. And it brings it back to a 2-point game. Roscommon haven't scored in this second half just yet. And they'll need a point here. They'll need something. Two-point game between the two sides. Definitely been not the best game you would say in the world. I think that does go without saying, in fairness, in terms of championship games, but it is in the balance, and that is what we want. We want 2 games we want a game that's going to go down to the wire, have us on the edge of our seat, and we are getting that. I think conditions have played a big part in this game being, as probably as low scoring as it's been, but here we go. Ball gets played back out wide to Dylan Rowan. Roscommon trying to keep possession as much as possible. And ref does look to have given... Is a free in for Roscommon? I think it is a free in for Roscommon. Lovely bit of play. Drive and run there by Enda Smith. So this will be an opportunity. for Roscommon. Big moment this, they haven't scored in the second half, still have a 2-point advantage, but they'll need to get back on the scoreboard, and they have. That's a fine score there from the man of the moment, German Murta. All their points so far have been from German Murta and have been from frees as well. Roscommon go back into a 3-point lead, and especially with this game being low score and being cagey, 3 points is a big enough margin for Mayo to have. But that's a brilliant turnover by Roscommon. Mayo look a little bit in trouble, and that is a wonderful point there. No, it's not. It's wide. It is wide. It looked to be a wonderful score there from German Murta on his left boot. But it goes wide. I'd like to see that again. Might have just drifted wide at the final moment. But there we have it. 6 points to 2-2. 6 points to 2-3, I should say. Roscommon with the advantage. The 3-point advantage. Mayo are in possession, though, and I still feel like Mayo are going to need a goal, possibly 2, to win this game. Possibly 2. But there's a good ball out wide, and Mayo looking to work the space. And that is well wide of the target there from Fionn McDonough. And that is, I'd say, Mayo's 6th wide in the game. Kevin McStay watching on. He's, I'd say he won't be too happy with what he's seen from Mayo so far. 6 points after 45 minutes. Not exactly brilliant from a Mayo perspective. But here we go now on the ball. Plays it out wide to Fionn McDonough. Bit of space opening up. Plays it inside. Ryan O'Donoghue. Mayo not taking the opportunity on. O'Donoghue has just not had time on the ball at all. We've barely even seen him on the ball. Barely seen Tommy Conroy as well. Like, you see when Tommy Conroy or Ryan O'Donoghue gets the ball, the Roscommon defenders swarming around him, like making sure he doesn't have any space. Again, look, Conroy does well though, and that's a brilliant score there from Tommy Conroy on his right boot. Mayo have definitely done better in terms of kicking from play. I mean, Roscommon's only score from play was the goal, the second goal from Enda Smith. But that was really, really well taken there by Tommy Conroy. Brings it back again to a 2-point game. And Mayo, their shooting boots is definitely a lot more clinical in this second half. 4 scoring opportunities, 3 of them taken. Here now is Enda Smith. He caught that ball brilliantly. Roscommon looked to have lost it, but brilliant bit of work there by Jeremy O'Connor. Dragging himself through the dirt. Mayo fans on their feet. Just looking at Enda Smith and Matrouan both going for that ball there. Enda Smith getting a bit of a coming together between Enda Smith and Jeremy O'Connor. That's definitely been an interesting tussle so far between them two. Just here come Mayo on the attack. They need a score. They need something, and here's Aidan O'Shea. Can Mayo drag it back to a 1-point game? They're being patient on the ball. They're waiting for the right openings. Roscommon very, very well organised, very well packed defence, in fairness. Just looking through some full-time scores from around the country. So Laois with a big win over Wexford. 217 to 213, and Offaly narrowly getting the better of Longford there by a point. So yeah, a lot of games being very, very close indeed. But here comes Ryan O'Donoghue. Plays it back. Space opens up here for Mayo. Are they going to get a score? Dropping deep. nearly resulted in something. Dropped deep, caught very well there by Conor Carroll, the goalkeeper. And Mayo do win the 45, though. They do win a 45, so big chance here now. Goes for the effort. Watchalong, I think, and it just dropped short eventually. Nearly drove out over the sideline. Yeah, Conor Carroll puts his cornerback, or his fullback Conor Daly, under a lot of pressure. Goes out for a 45. So this will be a chance here for Mayo now to get themselves a much needed point for Calm Reap. And this will bring the game back to a 1-point game. Calm Reap, as we've seen so far, he's had 3 opportunities. He scored 2 and he's missed 1. Let's see what he does here. And he looks to have missed it. He misses it wide of the target. Too wide from him. You'd wonder, with conditions and everything else, did Calm Reap need to take that on? Could Mayo have played it short and kept possession? But Roscommon dilly-dallying at the back, and there might be a chance here for a goal. Aidan O'Shea pops it over the bar. Could have possibly worked a goal opportunity. I think he takes the right option in the end, in fairness. And that is a very, very good score there from Aidan O'Shea. With his left boot right down the middle. Very, very good score. It was dangerous from Conor Carroll. Playing it out there, and Roscommon were nearly caught with a possible goal. Just looking at Aidan O'Shea there, he's telling his team just to stay focused, stay energized, stay ready. And in fairness, we were saying about Mayo, they needed to show resolve in this second half. They needed to show character, and in fairness, they have showed character. So far, you would say, but look, it's it's early days yet. Well, not early days, still 20 minutes to go. Darren McHale's coming on here. Interesting substitution there from a Mayo perspective, and Fionn McDonough goes off. So be interesting to see how Darren McHale, obviously Knockmore club man, very good player for Knockmore down the years. So this will be a big one for Darren McHale. Again, Roscommon go short. They're playing dangerous. Trying to go short from those kickouts. They're trying not to kick long. They do get away with it, Roscommon, but there was a heavy challenge that came in. Be interesting to see this one back again. Heavy challenge there on... was it a heavy challenge? Yeah, I suppose probably winded Lennon there. But 1-point game. Darren McHale, who came on right into the thick of the action. Just looking at it, Mayo's first substitution. Roscommon haven't made any changes themselves so far as well. So, with about 20 minutes to go, probably be, you'd say, a few minutes of injury time as well, in fairness. Roscommon just with 1 point in the second half. Still haven't kicked a point from play, which is very unusual after 52 minutes of football. I mean, if Roscommon managed to win this game without kicking a ball from play, that would be quite bizarre. But there we go. So Darren McHale, who comes on, goes straight back off as a blood sub. And here comes Cillian O'Connor, a man that knows everything about kicking points, kicking goals, and scoring in big matches, and especially against Roscommon down the years. And he comes on for the final 18 minutes of this game. And we'll see if he stays on, obviously, with the substitution there of Darren McHale. We'll see if it's a blood sub or what's going on. He might potentially come back on. But a bit of a stoppage here. Mayo 8 points, Roscommon 2-3. Roscommon using this opportunity to make a change as well. Keane McKeown, very good young footballer, comes on, and Kieran Lennon, who was heavily winded, in fairness, in that challenge, goes off. So Roscommon in possession with Carroll on the ball, but they will reset from this free out. Roscommon need something, because you just feel like Mayo are starting to turn the screw and really starting to, I suppose, find the edge. Just looking at it there, 10 minutes since Roscommon's last score, 4 minutes since Mayo's last score. Oh, and that's very dangerous stuff there by Conor Carroll. And Roscommon could be in big trouble here. Their goalkeeper's off the line. Roscommon do have enough players back there, though, but that's a good ball over. Look to have defended it. And a ball does go over the bar, but I think the ref has judged Jordan Flynn to have picked the ball up off the ground. So Roscommon get away with it, but very, very dangerous stuff there from the Roscommon goalkeeper, Carroll. It's always a dangerous thing with goalkeepers when you play out from the back and you try and, do all this crack of keeping men behind the ball and everything else, because you always run the risk of losing possession and possibly giving the opportunity for a goal. And a goal for Mayo in this game now would really, really change the complexion of how this might end up. So, yeah, Roscommon have got away with it big time there. But here goes Donny Smith, who, of course, was a late change at the start of the game. He scored the penalty. Here's Keane McKeown has come on. Mayo pressing Roscommon very, very deep and making life difficult for Mayo. Roscommon doing well here on the ball. They need a score. They need an opportunity. Mayo very, very well organised, but Roscommon are moving the ball well, in fairness. And the ref has seen something here. I think a foul this time around from Jack Coyne on Enda Smith. So this will be a chance for German Murta just to take the edge a bit off for Roscommon. Will German Murta kick it from here? It's a good bit out. Is he going to kick it off his hands? It's a difficult one. Certainly is a difficult one for German Murta. But he looks like he will. That's a difficult one, but he's got it. It's a lovely score from German Murta on his left boot. Quite a bit out the field. Difficult one with the conditions and everything else. But he makes zero mistake. Zero mistake with that finish. A wonderful, wonderful score there from German Murta. And Roscommon go 2 points to the good once again. Mayo turning the screw and getting opportunities and getting themselves back into the game. But the problem is that those 2 goals for Roscommon have them as the advantage. And that has been critical so far for the Rossies. Here we go, Mayo on the attack. Lovely bit of play. Challenge going in by Ryan O'Donoghue. Ref has judged that as a foul for Roscommon. So Roscommon on possession. They look to have weathered the storm a little bit. They've just started to turn the screw a little bit now in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Keane McKeown there just getting his body in front of Ryan O'Donoghue. Look to be a few kind of clashes, a few coming together is there. Killian O'Connor will sort things out. Yeah, look, I mean, he has kind of suffered with injuries a little bit here and there. So, is he the same player as he was 3-4 years ago? Probably not. But, you want him on the field right now because he's a man who has that experience, has that neck of knowing when to shoot, when to take opportunities and scoring big points, in fairness. Shawnee Mayo look to have the upper hand now. Shawnee says talking to some Leitrim lads at the match last night, and they were saying artificial pitch and small pitch, hard to get used to for Leitrim lads. Yeah, it is difficult and I do have some sympathy for Leitrim, and I know, a lot of people, I've seen some people on Twitter saying, it's one of the worst performances in the history of the championship, and Leitrim this and Leitrim that and everything else, and giving them a lot of criticism. Like, I think people forget, like, it's not an easy trip. There's a reason why Roscommon have struggled against New York down the years. Sligo nearly got bet last year. Do you know that way? It's not easy. It's not easy going over there. Artificial pitch, jet lag. You don't have as much time to prepare for that game as you used to with a condensed inter-county season. And New York had some very good players. Probably one of the strongest New York sides that I have seen. Shane Carty, ex-All-Ireland winner with Dublin. Johnny Glynn, All-Ireland winner, fair enough, with Galway hurling, but he has the conditioning, the fitness, all the physical attributes. Adrian Varley, stunning footballer for Galway down the years. Bill Maher won a provincial title with Tipperary. So New York had a very, very good side. Very, very good side. So I think it's, and Leitrim only lost on penalties as well. So I think it's harsh on Leitrim to be giving them loads of stick over that, because it's a young team as well. It is a young team. But you would say, Tailteann could probably, I wouldn't say make or break for Andy Moran, but, you would look at the 2 seasons that he's been there and there hasn't been much progress, but he has been a little bit unlucky, I think. He has been a little bit unlucky in close games. But there we go. So 11 minutes to go in this game. Mayo 2 points down. They look to have turned the screw, but they haven't scored now, Mayo, since the 49th minute since Aidan O'Shea. So 10 minutes now without a score. That's a decisive pass there into Aidan O'Shea. Jack Coyne does very, very well. This could be a goal chance. Goes down, looking for a penalty. Referee judges nothing there. And to be fair, it looked like Jack Coyne was maybe looking for it. So I don't think there was that in there. Let's see, Jack Coyne on the ball. Yeah, I think he just sort of runs into the Roscommon defender there. There might have been a tug back just before he went into the square, so you could have argued there might have been a free in for Mayo. But definitely no penalty there. Roscommon growing in confidence. Let's not forget the last 4 times that Mayo have won the National Football League, they've lost in the open round of the championship to Roscommon at home. There tends to be some weird omens that follow Mayo around, and that is absolutely extraordinary there from German Murtha. Roscommon finally get their first point from play, and it comes on the 60th minute on his left boot. A wand of a point there from German Murtha. He scored all of Roscommon's points, 3 points to the good, and Roscommon are looking very, very good now for this Connacht win, for getting into the Connacht semi-final. And Mayo looking a spot of bother here. Jason Doherty and Conor McStay both coming on. Jordan Flynn and Owen McLaughlin going off. Kevin McStay rolling the dice. Mayo need a big response. They need a goal. I said it earlier. They need a goal. And this might just be, these players might be able to add something. But here we go. 3-point game. Couple of bounces there from Jeremy O'Connor. Looked like it might have been a double bounce, but need to see that again. There was a clear foul in the penalty area there, but it does go over the bar from Cillian O'Connor. So brilliant response there from Mayo. Good, brilliant score there from Jeremy O'Connor. Brings it back to a 2-point game. How many times down the years have we seen Mayo drag it back from the dead? How many times have we seen them respond? How many times have we seen them find an answer when they need one? And this is certainly a game where they do need an answer. But here come the Rossies. Let's not forget, if Mayo lose this game, they'll go into the group stage in pot 3, which, again, as I've said before, I don't think is the end of the world. I still think they'll get through that group stage. But at the same time, it does run the risk of life becoming a bit more difficult for Mayo, shall we say. And Roscommon are growing in confidence now, and that is wide, I think, of the target. That looked like to be a big chance there for Niall Daly, I think it was, who got forward. Two-point game going into the final. 6 to 7 minutes. There will be a bit of injury time. Probably. 7 or 8 minutes, you would say. Or 7 or 8 minutes, what am I saying? Probably 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe with the with the injuries and everything else. But here come Mayo in possession. They need to get a score here just to bring it back to a 1-point game, keep themselves in it. Aidan O'Shea plays it back. Mayo trying to be patient and wait for the openings. Roscommon are very, very well set up. Let's not forget, Mayo haven't led once in this game. They haven't led at all. It's been all Roscommon Roscommon kicked the opening score. They've been the ones that have led from first whistle to the last and are fully deserved of having the lead at this moment in time. And 6 minutes to go. Say if you're a Mayo fan, you're nervous. Say if you're a Roscommon fan, you're nervous as well. Chances opening up. Did Mayo get a foul there? They nearly did. They managed to work it out wide in a bit of an unorthodox way. Tommy Conroy could have took that on, chose not to. Mayo being very, very patient. And they look to have won the foul there. Or no, they haven't. Ref hasn't called that. Has he played advantage or play still going on? Tommy Conroy. Mayo dragged themselves into the darkness a little bit here, but they managed to pull themselves out of it. They still have the ball. It's very, very scrappy stuff. Very, very scrappy stuff. And here they come again. Roscommon fighting for everything here. They're not giving Mayo an inch. Mayo are reluctant to take the opportunities on, probably because of the weather conditions, but you feel like they're just not going to get the opportunities by running it through. And it's a big turnover from, I think, is it Connor Cox? It is Connor Cox who's come on. And Roscommon now hitting Mayo on the counter-attack. Mayo might be a little bit wide open here. German Murta, we know he can score them. He's been in fine form, and he does score it. It's a wonderful score from German Murta. He scored all of Roscommon's points so far. 2 points from play, 4 from frees. And Roscommon are looking within touching distance of a famous win here against the men in green and red. It's a phenomenal score from German Murta. And here we go. Here we go then. Mayo, as I said, I think they need a goal, but there was a chat, like they had the ball, and I know the wind and everything else is there, but they had opportunities to take scores on and they didn't. Tommy Conroy got himself in a good position. They were getting themselves into good position, and Colm Reid put a terrible kick out there. Mayo's heads look to have been completely gone, and Connor Cox, in wonderful space, pops that one between the sticks. Roscommon, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to beat Mayo in their own backyard. They're now 4 points to the good here, and it's looking like a long way back now for Mayo. If they turn this one around, it will be a phenomenal turnaround, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good if you're a Mayo supporter. Roscommon are looking very, very good here. They're looking very, very strong, and they're just picking their moments on the counter-attack and doing it very, very well. Mayo need a goal. They need a goal. They might have to jump on Roscommon here, though, because Mayo have a couple of players forward. Maybe a chance. They're claiming for a penalty. The referee sees absolutely nothing. Roscommon have turned it over. There's a bit of mumbo-jumbo going on in the background there. Not too sure what's happened. Have Mayo completely lost their heads? I think they might have. We'll see what happens here. The referee is on the phone. He's on the walkie-talkie to his official there. There's a Conor Hussey coming out with the ball. Just a heavy shoulder barge there by Aidan O'Shea. Just threw him a little one. I mean, probably just the yellow card, in fairness. Probably just the yellow. You wouldn't imagine anything more, but this stoppage in play now, it suits Roscommon. Suits Roscommon for the game to be stopped. And there we go. Mayo 9 points, Roscommon 2-7. Shawnee says, good to see referee not giving away any easy frees. Yeah, it definitely has been the case. Definitely has been the case. Yellow card for Aidan O'Shea. He's going to throw the ball in, which is a little harsh because Roscommon had the ball. And it was Aidan O'Shea who committed the foul. But there we go. O'Shea wins the ball, then goes down. And the ref gives the foul the other way. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Ref has seen something here somewhere. A lot of stoppages here now. There's a lot of a lot of mumbo jumbo going on between these two sides. I mean, big rivals. You'd expect it to be a fierce contest, and that has been the case. Yellow card dished out. This time to Dylan Rowan. And again, the ball gets thrown in. Again, Aidan O'Shea wins it. But again, the ref gives it the other way. I've no idea what he's done wrong there. Did he give a foul away in the process? He must have. He must have. We're approaching injury time here. I'm not too sure Mayo will get this game back now. Mayo rolling the dice. Looks like they've made another substitute. Darren McHale's come back on. Matthew Rowan now going off. Sacrificing the midfielder. So, yeah, Mayo are going for this. I'd imagine there'll be a bit of out of time, in fairness. Probably 5-6 minutes. It's a good win of the ball there. Still not sure how much injury time is going on. But here we go. Here comes Paddy Durkin. Mayo needs something here. They need a goal, realistically, but a point just means it's a one-score game, so then you just never know. Mayo need to stand up here now. And Jeremy O'Connor just rising straight through the middle. Ball's bouncing around like a pinball. Mayo just cannot. They need to kick for points here. They keep trying to run through and it's not working. It's not working. Keep trying to run through the middle. And Roscommon just have the better of them. They have the better of them. You know, Connor Hussey, Connor Daly, Niall Daly, Brian Stack. They've been excellent. There's a black card being dished out here for German Murtha. I'm not entirely sure what for, but that's a big loss because that means he's basically gone for the rest of the game. You know, he'll be back by extra time if it does go there, but that means he's gone. So Roscommon have lost that threat on the counter attack. I'm not exactly sure what the black card is for. It'll be interesting to see what it was for, but here we go. Roscommon are in possession. Mayo need to turn the ball over. Keamy Keown driving through the middle. But the ref sees over carrying, so Mayo will have a chance here. We've seen Mayo drag it back before. We've seen them come back from the dead. Do they have it within them in the final 4 minutes? 10 minutes without a score. They need a point. They need to kick for points here. They can't keep running through the middle. It's just too one-dimensional. Why not even kick it into the square? You know, it's not working here. Mayo are just being silly now. They're not. You know, that's a long ball in. Colm Reap and Connor Cox both going for it, both miss it. Roscommon with every man inside their own, 25-meter line here. Oh, Mayo have just lost their heads completely now. That's a terrible ball inside. They've just completely lost it. They've completely lost their bottle here, Mayo. And Dylan Rowan's coming out with it. They keep turning the ball over. Like they're getting chances. They're getting opportunities here. But they're not kicking. They're not kicking. Like here's a kick for the opportunity, kick for the point. There's a foul. They win a free. This will go over the bar. Roscommon will try slow this down as much as possible. Cillian O'Connor's trying to take it quickly. Ryan O'Donoghue's the man standing over it. Is he going to play it short? Looked like he was nearly going to play it short there. Puts it over the bar. Good point there by Ryan O'Donoghue. Brings it back to a 1-score game. You just get the feeling that Mayo just need to, hit long balls into the square. How many times have we seen a long ball into the square cause all sorts of carnage, all sorts of chaos? That's what they need to do here. That's what they need to do. Davy Burke on the brink of a famous win in his first season, and that's a big, big win there for Roscommon in terms of winning that kick out, but they look to have lost possession. Referee is certainly allowing this to flow, but now he's given the free to Roscommon. Nail biting last few minutes. Yeah, like I'm not a supporter of either county, but I can certainly understand why people, would be biting the nails and everything else, because it's been very, very close. There's about a minute and a half left of injury time. Roscommon just need to keep the ball. That's all they need to do. And Roscommon are possibly going for the goal, going for the insurance point, and they get the insurance point. It's over the bar from Enda Smith. He could have kept the ball. He could have messed around with it, but he takes the opportunity that has been presented to him. And I don't think there's a way back now for Mayo, in my opinion. 4 points now. And I think Roscommon have this. I think Roscommon have won this game. There's a minute left. Mayo just need to hit it into the square now. They need to change it up. Far too one-dimensional, Mayo's approach. And here we go again, trying to trying to run it through the middle. It's not worked. It has not worked. Roscommon have read it perfectly, and it's been a bit of an ambush here from Roscommon. Do you know what? This Roscommon performance has nearly reminded me of a bit like Derry, how they, they pick and choose their moments to get forward. They're very well organised. They don't take ridiculous shots on, and they wait for their chances. And that's how it's been. And this is a massive reality check for Mayo. A massive reality check because, myself, a lot of people had them as All-Ireland favourites. You're looking at them here and, they haven't, they haven't adapted to this game. They haven't mixed it up. They haven't changed the way this game should have went. And Roscommon have the ball. I think the referee is Roscommon do put the ball over the bar. Has the referee? Is it over? Not quite over just yet. But yeah, I think massive question marks have to be asked to Mayo now. Fair play to Rossies. We were woeful. Yeah, I just don't think Mayo looked at it today. Is it pressure that's got to them? Is it too many miles in the clock? And there we go. The full-time whistle blows. Davy Burke gives it socks. Gives it absolutely everything. He's about to take that hat off. He's about to take his top off and go absolutely mental, and rightly so, because what a win, what a story, what an occasion for Roscommon. They beat Mayo, one of the favourites, one of the All-Ireland favourites. They've turned them over in their own backyard in Castlebar. It's a statement win for Roscommon. Roscommon have well and truly arrived, and if Mayo are All-Ireland favourites, what a Roscommon. What a Roscommon. Maybe we look at Roscommon and we think, well, they haven't played in an All-Ireland semi-final in God knows how long, 50, 60 years or whatever. Their record in Croke Park is quite poor, but mark my words, Roscommon are onto something here. They are onto something. That performance right there looked like something that we've seen from Derry. I felt like I was watching Tyrone versus Derry last year there, because that is exactly what Roscommon did. They waited for their opportunities. They had men behind their ball, but they weren't defending just for the sake of it. They were defending something. And they waited for their moments. They ran through the lines. In the first half, expertly coached. Just really, really well drilled. They weren't taking chances on. They weren't taking opportunities on because the wind, as we know, as we could see, and people in Castlebar would be able to say it more than me, they were very, very well, it was very, very hard. You can't be kicking from, from those angles. So they're running it through the middle, playing it the right way, playing the right passes, waiting for the opportunities. They get themselves a penalty, and they got that little bit luck. They got that little bit of luck in terms of the attack, but well-earned luck. And Mayo shooting in the first half definitely let them down. The Stephen Cohen goal chance that hit the post, that hit the bar. Other opportunities as well. Some real opportunities there. Some real opportunities for Mayo, like the Ryan O'Donoghue pass into Tommy Conroy that got away with the win, and Mayo caught flat-footed. And in the second half, they just, you've seen Roscommon run it through the middle, obviously with the wind, and you've seen them pick and choose their moments, but they were playing much better ball, faster ball. They were choosing the right spaces, and Mayo were struggling to defend it, whereas in the second half, Mayo were trying to do the same. They were trying to run it through the middle again, and it just wasn't working. It was not working. The likes of Niall Daly, excellent game. Connor Hussey, outstanding in a cornerback. Connor Daly, wonderful performance. Brian Sack, brilliant. Roscommon's defence, absolutely outstanding. And Mayo had no answer to it. And I'll go be honest, like Mayo did not show any bottle in that game. No bottle shown there. None at all. Like they needed to kick the ball, like mix it up. Kept running it through the middle time and time again. And they needed to change it because it wasn't working. They were losing possession. They were being turned over. I'm pretty sure Roscommon actually outscored Mayo in that second half. I think Mayo scored 6 points. Roscommon scored 6 points. So it finished level in the second half. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, like Roscommon needed to show, or Mayo needed to show just a little bit more. Where am I going here? They needed to kick it into the square, kick it long, to cause a bit of havoc in and around the square and make something happen. Fair enough with the conditions, it made it difficult to sort of kick in around the 30-40 meter mark or just outside the 25 meter line. But they needed to try something different there, Mayo, because it just was not working. This element of trying to run it through the middle, was not working at all. And fair play to Davy Burke. He got his tactics 110% spot on, and Mayo fluffed their lines. They absolutely fluffed their lines. And, Mayo, in fairness, throughout the league, they showed resolve. They showed a way of coming back. And I certainly would not rule them out. You certainly wouldn't rule them out based off just this individual game. But I think they have a lot of work to do. And I think, when the going gets tough, if a certain tactic is not working, you change it up and mix it up, because consistently trying to run it through the middle and play this hand passing game there, it wasn't working. I understand why they were doing it with the conditions, but it was not working. It was not working, and they needed to change it. And Roscommon, just excellent on the attack. German Murta, what a wand of a performance. That point he scored from play at one stage on his left boot where he turns his man and kicks it over the bar. Like, that was absolutely outrageous stuff there from German Murta. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And what a performance from him. 6 points, I think 2 from play, 4 from frees. Outrageous performance from him. Enda Smith, brilliant, tracking back, defending, getting the work in, 1-1, gets himself in the right place at the right time. Donny Smith obviously scoring the penalty. Keane McKeown, who came on, added a lot of legs, added a lot of energy. Connor Cox coming on, great addition. What a player to bring off the bench. And he gets himself a point late on as well. Brilliant performance there. And Roscommon, they waited for the opportunities, they waited for their moments, and they took them. And Mayo, fell flat on their face a little bit, and they'll have to look at things and regroup. Don't think it's the end of the world for Mayo. Like, they'll go into the group stages as a pot 3 team, and with the way those group stages are, the top 3 teams get out of it. So I think Mayo will be okay to get to a preliminary round at least. So we'll be seeing a bit more of Mayo, yeah. And what this will give them is actually a break. Give them a 3-4 week break now to the group stages. They've played a lot of intense games over the last couple of weeks. So, they'll be able to regroup themselves and remanage themselves now going into the group stage. Could go on full throttle in the league. Could that have maybe caught back up with them a little bit? Be interested to know Mayo supporters' views in the comments down below. We've harped on about Mayo's squad depth, and they certainly did roll the dice with Jason Doherty, Cillian O'Connor, Darren McHale and Conor McStay coming on. Cillian O'Connor scored a brilliant point in fairness and made a big impact. But Yeah, like it just those options didn't make a difference. And Roscommon, what a performance! What a performance! We'll run through some comments here. Shawnee says Rossi manager has done an outstanding job with them. He has, 4 wins in the league, 4 wins from 7 games, beaten Tyrone, beaten Armagh, and now they've beaten Mayo, and to beat them in their own backyard, big statement, big statement. And yeah, look, I would have them. I think it's going to be tough between them and Galway. It's toss of a coin stuff there, but I think the momentum now that Roscommon carry going into that Galway game, huge, absolutely huge. Well done to Roscommon. Not the way I thought this game would go. Yeah, me neither. Roscommon would be my favourites for Connacht now. Brilliant win for Roscommon. We've lost the battle, but the war is still on. And that's the thing. I think Mayo fans will be very disappointed with this performance. But the way the championship is structured this year, it's not the end of the world. For example, Roscommon could lose to Galway, and both Mayo and Roscommon are going in as pot 3 teams. So it would actually make this win almost irrelevant in the context of the season. And that's actually the problem with the way the championship is struggled this year. First championship weekend and already so many upsets. Yeah, New York beating Leitrim, Clare beating Cork, and now Roscommon beating Mayo. Definitely throws my predictions out the window. I might have to delete that video I made a couple of days ago now. Joseph says Mayo's woeful record in Castlebar continues, and the Mayo losing to Ross continues up the Ross. Yeah, I'd say you're absolutely delighted. Mayo for Sam. Yeah, there we go. Certainly makes myself and a lot of people who predicted Mayo to win the All-Ireland look a little bit silly now. But in fairness, still a long way to go. Joseph, Jonathan Morley having a woeful one between Liverpool losing and Mayo. Yeah. I think if you're a Liverpool fan and you're a Mayo fan, I think you might want to delete social media for today. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan. I haven't even gone near that game because I know. Yeah, I haven't even checked the score. I'd say Arsenal probably 3-0 up or something. Yeah, probably something like that. Damien says Mayo for Sam. Ross for Sam. Damien. Yeah, look, and fair play. I predicted Mayo to win Connacht and I was wrong, and I have to admit I was completely wrong and I misjudged Roscommon. Fair play. I always expected this to be a close game, and I always expected Roscommon to bring the energy, bring the intensity, bring the battle. But I thought Mayo would have more going down the home stretch, and I thought Mayo would have played a lot better than they did. And I didn't think Mayo would be as tactically naive as they were to continue. The definition of insanity is seeing the same thing over and over again without anything changing. And that is what happened with Mayo in that second half. They kept the same thing time and time again, trying to hand pass it through the middle to try to get goal opportunities. And yeah, there we go. It didn't happen. Damien says 2-1. Yeah, so there you go. I think getting a notification there maybe with someone miss a penalty maybe, but I don't know. We'll watch that game maybe after this, but there we go. Yeah, fair play to Roscommon. And I suppose the question mark is now, where do we rank Roscommon in terms of All-Ireland contenders? Because I think they have to be in the conversation. They've just beaten Mayo and Castlebar. And they'll go into that Galway game now with a huge amount of confidence. Let's not forget they beat Galway in the league earlier in the year as well. So massive result for Roscommon. Huge performance from them. For Mayo, they need to regroup now, go back to the drawing board. It's not the end of the world, but they need to learn from this. And Kevin McStay needs to learn from this because, as I said, they have the potential still to have a great season, get to an All-Ireland semi-final, possibly even a final, possibly even win it. But they need to learn from this game and not be so tactically naive and, take those opportunities when they come because, yeah, Mayo were caught on the hop today and they were caught flat-faced and, they lost their heads a little bit towards the end of the game. So, yeah, Meadman says Roscommon came third in the league and no one even considered them All-Ireland contenders, let alone Connacht contenders. Fair play to them. Yeah, I suppose the thing with Roscommon is just we haven't seen them get past the quarter-final. So that's the thing. You're looking at it on the basis of evidence and you're looking at past seasons and thinking, when it gets to an All-Ireland quarter-final, will Roscommon be able to hold their nerve? You know, that style of football that they're playing there works very well in provincial grounds and tight grounds, but does it work in Croke Park? It's, you know, Donegal are the only side of it, you know, Tyrone through the years are the only sides I've seen to pull that off. So it'll be tough for Roscommon. It will be tough for them, but you know, they've done very, very well in getting a win there. So there we go. Sports says fair play to the Rossies. As a Mayo fan, happy that we can now prep for the round robin. Yeah. Look, and that's the thing. Mayo now can take a break. Maybe you'll go on a warm weather holiday to Portugal or whatever you might do. But there we go. There should be more of a penalty for losing championship games, as it is. Mayo might be better off losing today, and that's what I was saying in the All-Ireland predictions and in other podcasts and everything else. They nearly would have been. It's the consequence of losing this game mightn't be that big, because they'll go in as a pot 3 team, and you're looking at the pot 2 teams. Sligo, New York is going to be one of them. Louth, Westmeath, Meath or Offaly will be another one of them 4. Clare, Limerick will be another one, and then we'll see what happens in Ulster, possibly Armagh. But Mayo would fancy their chances against Armagh, I'd say. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but definitely work to be done from a Mayo perspective. But yeah, great win for Roscommon. Cheers anyone who tuned in to the watch along. If you're watching the match reaction after, do hit the like button and subscribe. If you could, let me know your comments on the game down below. What a performance. What a win for the Rossies. What a win for Roscommon. They stand up as men and pull off a massive result. A massive result. And that was outstanding stuff there. And Roscommon for Sam, I wouldn't bet against it.